Hey everybody, welcome to DC Action Hour. All right, thank you for joining us. My name is Jeff from Super Geeked Up. One of our guest co-hosts jumped the ball on that, but that's okay. He was so excited to do those punches. All right, anyway, thank you for joining us, folks. This is a show where we talk about all the cool DC shows on the CW network. So Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow. Like I said, my name is Jeff. I'm joined as always by my co-host Mark Spile.
Hello.
Hi, we have a special guest co-host today from the awesome site and show SciFi Pulse, Ian Cullen. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, good. You see, he was very energetic there at the beginning, so that's great. He's excited to go. All right, and we also have our special guest. It's actually our very first guest we've ever had on the show, and it is Cassandra Ebner. Hi.
Hi, guys. Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. If you watch our Super Geeked Up show, you actually would have seen her about a week and a half ago. She was awesome on that show talking about Demon X. She's an actress, Stuntwoman. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk to her because she's been on actually all of these shows we talk about, and she's going to talk about some of her experiences on there, both in acting and doing stunts. So that's very cool. She also has some very dramatic lighting effect going on, which I enjoy. Yes, it's very good. It's like rays from the sun are coming down.
Well, obviously.
Right.
J.J. Abrams production.
Yeah, she actually has like just a gaffer right above her on a frame, just holding.
Yeah, for most of my live shows, I hire people to like make sure everything. You just can't see them right now.
Right. Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Thanks.
All right. So if you're watching live, folks, thank you so much. First off, there's a live chat going on the YouTube, which I'll open in a second. I'll see what you guys are saying. And you can tweet us at Super Geeked Up as well. We love hearing your comments and sharing them on air and all your feedback. So before we talk with Cassandra, though, we like to do our super tweet question, which is a fun question we do every week, and we want to hear your answers as well. This week's super tweet is, what character would you want to see come back to either Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, or Legends of Tomorrow? Mm-hmm. All right, let's actually start with our guest, Cassandra. She's very like pondering already, but she's like, I'm ready. All right.
Am I the first answer?
Yeah, you're our special guest, so you get to go first.
Oh dear. Okay, I'd have to say I'm a bit biased because her name is Sin on the Arrow, and she was best friends with one of the, I don't know his name. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. The Red Arrow guy.
Roy.
Oh, with
Roy.
With Roy.
Yeah,
Roy.
She was best friends with him, and I got to double her in some of the episodes. So if she came back, her and I could hang out again. And she's just an amazing human. So that's who I'd get back.
No, wait. Are you talking about is like with a friend of Roy's friend?
Yeah, like with the short black hair.
Yeah, like the punk kind of kid.
Yeah, the punk kid. Her name's Bex Taylor Claus. She's an amazing actor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, wait. Marks and Ian, what happened? Did they do anything with her character? Did they kill her? They didn't kill her, did they?
No, I don't think they did.
She just like disappeared.
Yeah. Okay.
They didn't show her as much. She came in with Sarah as Black Canary and kind of helping her out, and after a while, they stopped showing her.
I saw that her character is supposed to be a superhero. Like her character is supposed to develop into something.
Oh, like from the comics.
In the comics, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be original Sin, would it?
No, that's a Marvel thing, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I don't know the difference.
I think it's a Marvel thing.
We'll have to look into
the comics.
Yeah. If anybody knows who her character is in the comics, I'm curious to hear now. You can let us know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know actually she was a superhero.
I looked it up because I was like, maybe she'll become superhero-y.
No, nice. Then you can do even more stuff.
Pow pow! Bang!
That's exactly how the scene's going to go.
Yep.
You should pitch that to the writers. Okay. Can I go pow pow bang?
I think it'll be great. Just she says it every time that she hits someone.
Yeah, I like it. She could be like Squirrel Girl from Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I actually would love to see that because I would love to see Oliver's reaction to her like say pow pow bang as she like punches and kicks people.
Like I can't even imagine. It'd be amazing.
And let me share some live chat stuff going on right now. So the first, Sean Collins said, "OMG, it's Cassandra." Hey, there you go. You have a fan in there already.
Oh.
Lister's mate says Cassandra looks so angelic from your amazing lighting that your crew is doing. Carrie Johnson says, live chat brought to us by J.J. Abrams Lens Flare.
You're just loving my lighting right now.
Well, you should have seen mine hiding before.
You had like the halo back behind you.
Yeah. That was pretty
Listeners
bad.
Nate says, didn't the character Sin we're talking about get hit by a bus? I don't think so. She can get hit by a bus, right?
No, I would have remembered that one.
Because you would have been the one getting hit by it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so someone named Lisa Ebner says, where did Cassandra get her good looks from?
Oh,
Is that
wow.
your mom? Is that
That's
your mom?
my mom. Yeah, she's in the chat.
Hi, Cassandra's mom. Thank you for watching.
Oh, dear.
That's very nice. What a nice mom.
Watch what you guys are saying now.
Oh.
Just kidding.
We gotta behave now.
All right, yeah, cancel all the bad stuff we're going to say about her.
Oh,
guys.
okay, right.
Wait till her mom goes to sleep.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Anyway, let's see here. Marks, what's your answer to this? What character would you like to see come back to one of these shows?
There's a bunch of them, but I think the one that would be nice would be Huntress. I didn't quite like
Yes.
I didn't quite like how they
Huntress.
went with her character in the last episode they had her, but it would be nice to see her back trying to make up for her mistakes, and even if they recast or whatever. And it would be interesting to see her and Black Canary clash at some point. It'd be kind of interesting. Little Birds of Prey reference.
And then, yes, as I've been saying, right? And then spin-off, Birds of Prey
there
spin-off.
you go.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be nice.
So Mark, as you know, Huntress is my favorite female comic book character. So I would love to see her come back to Arrow. And actually, somebody said this, on Facebook, Mark Beltran had said Huntress was his choice as well to this question. Some other social media answers that we got at Dawn Loria and our own Danielle, our co-host, who's at PaleyFest right now, said Leonard Snart. That was their answer. Carrie Johnson, who's in the chat right now, had said he hoped Waller would play a role in the flashbacks. But then he said Cynthia Adai Robinson's dance career got filled by the accountant and shooter. Yeah. And then let's see. Ian, what's your choice?
I think, given that we've got Talia al Ghul in Arrow right now, it'd be fun to bring Nissa al Ghul back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, Katrina Law. You know, see the two sisters together. I mean, do they get on? You know, so like there's probably going to be a bit of a sisterly spat there.
Oh, yeah. I think they have to do that, right? It seems like it's an obvious thing to do, obviously, to have those Nissa and Talia, some kind of rivalry there or something.
Yeah. Well, you know, anything Katrina Law's in, I'm there.
I'm with you, sir. Yep. No, she's great, man. She's great in Spartacus. She's great in this show. Yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, let's see. On Twitter, Hunter's Realm, our good buddy Eros Orocho said, would love to see Laurel and Jay Garrick back actively on the shows. And Francis, a.k.a. the other guy, he actually has the same answer as me. So my answer is Patty Spivot, who, if you heard me talk the last couple of weeks, you know, I adore Patty Spivot. Her and Barry, I think, are the best match in the universe. And that's so. Actually, I think it should just be a Patty and Barry show. Just do a new show with just those two. And now that, well, if you know what happened, we'll talk later about the latest issue of Flash. Actually, maybe Barry can now go see Patty. We'll talk about that later, though. Let's see. I think that covers all the answers we got from people on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you very much, folks, for sending those answers in. All right. So, and we covered all you guys, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Listener Fate says, no, not in the live chat. I mean, no, not Snart. Captain Cold was the worst character ever. So I'm in the minority, but I actually agree with you, sir. I can't freaking stand his character on that show. But most people adore him.
That's a cold response.
He sounds like he talks through his nose, though, doesn't he? He's kind of got
that's what drives me nuts. It's the way, and Mark's off. I don't know. Early in the week, right? We were talking, and you said like it was his choice to be like, because he's very cold and calculating, right? That why he speaks so slowly and deliberately. But it just drives me fucking off nuts. I just don't like the choice. Like I don't know.
I think I'm going to freeze you.
There you go. Good impersonation.
See, I can act. I'm going to have to go to stage school now and do all that stuff.
Right. You can be the new Captain Cold.
There you go.
But no, I will say actually, he is very popular. From what most of the people I see, like really, really dig his character. I think Marks. I think you enjoy him, right?
Yeah, I think it's to do with the fact that the fancy went with Miller. I don't think it's anything to do with acting chops or the character.
Well, no, because I've Wentworth Miller, right? Is his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen him in other stuff. I'm not saying he can't act. It's just I just don't like that.
It's like the choice. Yeah. No,
Come
makes
back
sense.
on Prison Break.
Right. Which is why he's not on these shows so much anymore, right? Because he's doing Prison Break now.
How
Yeah,
would
but-
they find the time to do that? From like jumping around, they wouldn't sleep.
Mm.
No wonder he talks so slow.
He's just tired.
Yeah, right.
He's so tired.
He's like, guys, I just shot 16 hours in Prison Break. I can't.
Yeah, give him a break.
Yeah,
Maybe a
I
prison
think
break.
I think the fact that he talks so slow is kind of like a hangover from the 6 years of Prison Break he did before. So if he does come back, he's going to talk even slower.
Oh,
boy.
no.
He's just done 9 episodes, hasn't he?
It'll be like Dragon Ball Z all over again. Sorry, bad reference. Sorry. We're talking DC.
No. That's fine. You can talk any geeky stuff you want. It's fine. And actually, later, folks, we're going to talk about the Flash. And actually, he does make an appearance in this week's Flash episode in a certain way. So you do get to see him if you've seen this past episode. All right, that's our super tweet question. You can, of course, keep tweeting us in or putting on Facebook if you're watching and post your answers. We always love hearing them. So we will, a little later in the show, of course, talk the latest episodes of this week. The new episodes were Arrow, Flash, and Legends. Supergirl was off this week. So we're going to talk about those all later, of course. We got a little bit of news, too. But right now, we're going to talk to our special guest, Cassandra Ebner, who, like I said, is an actress and Stuntwoman. So she's done a lot of stuff. And please go watch our Super Geeked Up show, which is our season finale with her and the Demon X cast. That was awesome. It was super fun. You can find out more about that show and other stuff she's up to. But let's start with, we want to hear some insights, from some of these shows you've been on. So, and I know we were talking on the pre-show a little bit. So I know you said Arrow. You've got you've both acted and done stunts on Arrow.
Yeah.
Which always makes sense. I mean, it's obviously the most like fight-oriented show of all of them, I feel. But can you talk a little bit about your experiences there?
Yeah, like every experience I've had working on that show has been amazing. Like the everybody's so passionate about what they do on that show. Like they just make sure the fight scenes are just like as real as they can possibly make them, and it's really cool to be in that environment. But my third ever stunt was on Arrow in the first season, episode 19. They find this drug called Vertigo, and I think actually the episode is called Vertigo, it might be, or Unfinished Business, one or the other. And they start and open the scene with this girl who's taken vertigo. And that's the character I played in the show. So I'm like dancing and I'm in this club, and then all of a sudden it turns out I'm on the road, and then this car comes and hits me out of nowhere and I die. So they're all like trying to figure out where this drug came from. So that was a really cool experience.
All right, that's awesome. Now, now I have to go back and watch it now that I know you. Obviously, I'm like, oh my god, it was like I know you. Obviously, it was you then. But
well, it's so funny because they cut it up so much to condense the story, obviously, because that's what happens in shows is you have to have a certain amount of time, and they cut so much. In the original thing that we shot, there was this huge DJ scene, and my character was so high on this stuff that I end up like bumping into this guy, and we end up just like making out. And so in the scene, I had to like make out with this random guy, and they never ended up putting it in the show. So I'm like, why did you guys make me do that?
oh,
It's probably one of the producers.
yeah, the guy like the producer or something.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny because like I ended up being in sort of the trailer like very briefly, but I think I'm gonna say they just didn't like my movie kiss. They were just like, nope, let's take that out.
Well, I'm sure that wasn't. I've heard you have amazing movie kisses.
Oh, thanks.
From high sources. I don't know where I heard that from.
Sorry, I brought it up. Anyway, it was other than my story of my horrible movie kiss. It was an amazing experience. It was the most hardest stunt I ever did. Okay, guys.
Now, did you? I definitely gotta watch it again. Was it one of those things where you kind of went up on the hood and like over the windshield into the windshield? Like, is that what happened?
The car came, I got up onto the windshield, and then the car went to a stop, and I fell off the hood.
Oh, nice.
And so it actually, we did it the first time, and it didn't look like it killed me, so we did it another time a little bit faster. And so when I went up on the shield, I had like this little bit of like a helmet under my wig that I was wearing, and the wig cracked the shield, and the helmet cracked the shield a little bit, and my shoe went flying off past camera like 20 feet. So it was like a real, I guess, like when you get hit by a car for real, your shoes fly off. That's a thing.
Oh, nice.
So,
No, it's not. I've been hit by a car. That doesn't
and your
happen.
shoe didn't fly off?
No, I actually hit the windshield, did a triple somersault, and landed on my left foot.
Oh, get out of here. You fucking...
I did. I did, honestly.
You did a triple somersault. What?
I did.
He counted while he was doing it.
It wasn't deliberate. It was an accidental triple somersault. It was just the way. It's just the way I was traveling through the air. It's the way the momentum carried me.
And you landed on your feet?
I landed on my left foot. I just landed on one foot. I kind of stuck that landing.
Well,
And then he went like this, like the gymnastics
Right.
people.
and he looked
No,
for
I didn't. I was like, what the hell just happened? It's all like.
well, there you go, Cassandra. Now you know the correct technique to not
Yeah,
lose your
I
shoe.
totally messed up my car hit.
That's if you do the iron fist defense and you spin around.
But Ian, how are your movie kisses?
Look, I'm just like,
Maybe yours would have stayed in.
I was just imagining, which would be terrible. If the producers came to you like,
you
Cassandra's
have
like,
practice
Cassandra,
on your hand or
that
something. You're like,
What? Sorry, I was imagining the producers came to you and were like, Cassandra, the stunt work was amazing, but man, your movie kisses, you got to work on them.
You need to work on those. That's why I started taking acting classes. Just kidding. That was a joke.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is after, because my character died on there, I ended up going to an audition for the 4th season. I booked the audition, but I was already booked on something else, so I couldn't actually play the role. But I would have kind of come back, but I had different hair color, so maybe it would have been okay. But I wonder if anybody would have noticed and been upset about that. It's such a minor role, but I wonder if people
playing a different character. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting in that? So Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but Star Trek is, I think, the most infamous ones that they did this all the time. They would have characters in like Next Generation, and they became then the regulars on Voyager, and
Yeah.
they're playing totally different characters, right? They did this all the time, and I was like, I mean, I don't know, I was okay with it, but I was like, this makes no fucking sense, really. Like,
Why is he on this planet now?
yeah.
So you would not have been okay with it? Is that what you're saying, Jim?
Well, here's the thing: if it's such like,
It's like
not
you
really.
still
If
got.
it's like a minor, if it's a minor role, and then they become like a totally different, like a different role, and a bigger role, like I don't really care. It's fine, I get it.
yeah, Robert
Because
Duncan.
if anything, it just
McNeil.
means they like the actor, right? And they want to give them a better role. So I'm cool with that. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll go for a bigger role, and my character will just come back, and you'll never notice.
Yeah. Well, look, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'd be glad to see you in anything. So
Aw.
You could get a
think you should
guest
be
role
the
on
new
Doctor Who,
Huntress.
and then you become the companion next season.
what, Mark? Did you say become Huntress?
I think she should be the
I was
new
thinking that'd be great.
Huntress.
I'd be down with that.
Okay, I'll work on it, guys.
Shoot
We'll
your
email them.
crossbows. Yeah.
Anyone in the chat, make sure you hound the DC makers about making
Right.
interest.
Yeah. Just email all the producers. You have all their emails, right?
Yeah,
Folks?
totally. I'll just post them everywhere. I
Just
don't have.
bombard them on
great.
Twitter.
Great. They'll be thrilled.
So good.
By the way, in the chat, I think your mom's commenting again, and I think she's talking about the scene you were talking about in Arrow. She says the first time you wore heels. Is that true in the dance scene?
Oh, it was so embarrassing. The guys made fun of me because I couldn't walk in the heels. So it was like maybe my 4th time being in heels, and I had to walk down this road and dance and not look at anything, and just they were like, you can't walk. They made fun of me. All the dudes on Arrow made fun of me.
Well,
So-
did you ask them to try walking in heels? And do
Right?
that?
I should have. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
I actually think it's a miracle that anyone can walk in heels. It's just,
I
just looks
I
really-
concur. And the best part is I've hung out with some amazing stunt women who do stunts and fight scenes in heels that are this high. So kudos to whoever can do flips in those things.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
Yikes.
That's another thing that I don't know. A lot of times that doesn't make sense to me either. Why they have women fighting in heels? Like,
Thank you.
it makes. I mean, unless the scene calls for like they're out somewhere, like at a club, and they get into a fight scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like in their normal costumes, I'm like, I can't understand any actual like kick-ass vigilante person dressing like that if they were.
Thank you. You need to go make some movies, sir.
Well, I have. Well, yes.
Oh,
Well,
more movies
yeah,
with
thank you.
less heels, which you were already doing. So
Right.
keep it up.
Well, yeah, there we go. I sent you some stuff, so then maybe we can make some non-heels ass-kicking movies.
It's really funny. There was a show I was watching last night. It was Badlands.
Yeah.
And
Into the Badlands?
Into the Badlands.
Oh,
That's
season
it.
premieres tonight. I'm so excited.
And there was this one character, and I don't remember
The
the
widow?
names. Yeah, the widow. She was
Widow's
wearing the
so good.
heels, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just accept it. But then she actually used the heels to kill someone, and I went, okay, yeah, that's okay. That's allowed. So if it makes sense, go for it.
Yeah, folks, Into the Badlands, I think we've talked about it. I don't know if we talked about this show, but I've talked about it with Marks. Oh my God. Like the best martial arts you're going to see on TV, I think, right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I caught the first couple of episodes of it on Amazon Prime here in the UK. I've just not got back to it yet.
it's on
Well,
Netflix.
I
Season
enjoyed
one's on
what I've
Netflix,
seen.
I just saw now too. So if you can catch up, and then season 2 is about to start.
I think season 2 is probably going to be on Amazon Prime in the next few days because it's usually a couple of days after.
What the hell? Do you guys get it? You guys get, like, when it debuts on TV for us, you get it on Amazon Prime already? It's just debuting tonight on TV.
Yeah, we'll probably get it in a couple of days, I think. I mean, that's usually
Yeah.
how it works.
You guys get better stuff sometimes. All right, anyway, let's see. Oh, go ahead,
So how
Marks.
did
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
get? Did you start off with acting or stunt work first?
It's hard because I've kind of always been doing it, and I didn't realize it. I was making my own YouTube videos from like age 15 and on. So I was like always playing with acting, but I didn't realize I was doing it. Then when I was in my hometown, I ended up getting cast for this movie and playing a daughter of the main character in like a really independent movie. And then I moved to Vancouver and then started working to get into stunts. And then it's been kind of both at the same time. So I do more stunt work, but my heart is in the like action, acting, like both kind of thing. If I could integrate both into something, that's the dream. And that's why like Demon X, the series I was just on, was like a really fun, amazing project for me.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And she's also done a film it's just called Croft, right? I'm trying to
Yeah, it's Croft fan film, and you can find that on YouTube. And I also got to play another kick butt female character.
So she got to do Lara Croft acting and doing awesome stunts too in that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your British accent like?
It's very rough, but it's all right.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Like-
I
not
guess he's
quite,
the expert since he's from.
it's not quite as bad as Dick Van Dyke.
I hope
Not quite as
not.
what?
Not quite as bad as Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, it's Dick Van Dyke. Okay.
It's enough to be like, okay, she's trying to do British, but like you probably couldn't put me into an area of the UK where I would belong.
It's better than Ian's American accent. For sure.
But it's definitely better than my American accent.
Let's hear it.
No, I'm not going to do it.
No.
Oh, so now you're whipping out, huh? You asked her to do hers.
No.
The shame shirt.
Yeah,
So,
the
Is
Marvel
there any
Mouse
other
pants.
stunts you've done on the CW shows?
Yeah, so I stunt doubled for Sin for the first 2 seasons. And then I think in the 3rd season of Arrow that there was the like pretend siren that was like pretending to be her and had her like little collar on.
Oh, yeah.
And she was introduced in the last season or in the very last episodes of the 3rd season, and I got to double her when we didn't know who she was and stuff. So she was like running through and the Arrow was trying to get her and stuff. So I got to do that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the blonde siren.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she would become Artemis later, right?
Yeah. And my friend doubles her for the season 4 and does like some really cool badass stuff. So it's really awesome. And then I got to be on Flash, and I did an acting/stunt role that didn't make it, but I didn't kiss someone this time, so maybe it's not the kissing scenes. No, they said.
Can you tell us what that scene was?
Yeah, so I think it was to introduce this robot Flash bad guy character.
Savitar?
Possibly. No, it wasn't a robot guy. It was a guy that had some sort of hood on, and he was really tall and big. Maybe it was a robot character. Maybe it was him.
Savitar's in a big armored suit, so it could be that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't remember because it was like a very fast-paced night.
Oh, no pun intended.
No pun intended. And then, so it was kind of to introduce his character and what he was doing and the Flash saving us. So he was blowing up the streets, and me and this other girl were like hiding from him. And we go to run, and my heel breaks, these darn heels. And I'm on the ground, and I'm like crawling away and screaming like, "Go, run!" And the guy's like coming up to get us. And then she picks me up. We start running, but then the Flash comes in and swoops us away and brings us to safety. And then the guy, they kind of face off, and then they disappear. So it was like to introduce his character, I think.
Huh.
Yeah, and they said they just cut the scene for time. So they do that all the time. Is like they'll film scenes and then just gone.
Yep.
So they said it's good though, because then they can bring me back. So
yes.
Yeah, and then I don't know if there's been any other crazy gigs on there, but my friends all work on there, and my friend doubles for Supergirl and stuff like that, and they do a really good job.
Awesome.
Cool. I believe you've done an episode of Legends. What did you do in that?
We talked about this on the pre-show. I literally was on there just for a day, and I doubled like this girl who like fell over, and it was like
Who fell over?
She literally just like fell over, and I don't remember really what it was about. It was like a ballroom scene. I wore this like amazing, elegant blue dress. It was fun.
Yeah, that's basically what happens to Jeff every time he watches the show.
He just falls over?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Ian. All right. In the chat, Carrie Johnson had said, we must know, Cassandra, you are really Savitar, right? So he's speculating if you are the secret identity of Savitar. Yeah. Don't tell anyone, Carrie.
No spoilers.
Now that would be amazing, though. Particularly if you were like on the show and you hid it from us and we didn't know. Like, oh my god, that would be so amazing. Like, you're good.
Next week the mask comes off.
Yeah,
like, it's
like,
her.
oh my god, it was her.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, you never know. So stay tuned. Keep watching.
Right. Basically, anybody who is a secret identity, it could be her, is what we're saying. So maybe. Yeah. Maybe what Vigilante on Arrow, right? That's who we still don't know who.
Yeah, we don't know who
maybe
Vigilante is.
Yeah.
I tell you what I think that's gotten better with the stunt performances on these shows is it used to be you could actually tell that it was a stunt performer doubling for the main actor, whereas you can't really tell as much anymore.
That's something that they've worked extremely hard to fight for. Is like when they find doubles, the doubles are like spot on. They will not get somebody like I'm 5'1.5", so I'm quite short. But if there's somebody who's 5'3", like sometimes you can kind of get away with it. But like on these shows, they're 5'3", 5'1.5", 5'2". Like they're getting those girls that have the same body shape, everything. Boys, same thing.
That's awesome. That's good. Because I've been a huge fan of like fight scenes and martial arts stuff for a long time. So I'll tell you, like that always is kind of irked me. Like when I can totally tell it's not the actor. Again, well, it takes me out of the thing because I know there's someone else doing it. You know,
and they put on a bad wig, and it's like
like for example, like I'm watching when I was a kid, I watched Knight Rider, right? And it's on. They show Knight Rider on El Rey Network all the time now, every day. But some of the times, like the guy for David Hasselhoff, he's got this ridiculous wig on, and it's so obviously not David Hasselhoff. And I'm like, come on, guys! Like all he does every episode too is just jump on somebody and like punch him once, and he knocks him out. That's all.
See, like honestly though, like makeup and hair are such a huge part of making us look like the characters. Like if they don't have good wigs, then you can tell it's us, like you said. You just know. And then the makeup that they do, like they change our eyebrows, they change like our facial structure sometimes, and obviously not bone structure, but like, other stuff. It's pretty cool.
So it is funny. I was watching an old episode of Renegade the other day. Remember that show?
Oh, Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah. I was watching it in the fight scene, and it was so obvious that they were pulling the punches because it was so like about half an inch. You can see about half an inch. Before
but that was him, right? He actually knew how to fight, I think, right? I think that was actually him though doing it, right?
Was it? Yeah, but it just looked obvious.
We've come a long way.
I actually found a picture of my friend who doubles for Supergirl. I took that when she was. Can you see that? Okay.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's her up there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So she's on wires, and I think I have. So there was this scene in Supergirl where I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was the bad guys had these like laser guns, and they were fighting her in this like sort of like library street area. I don't know what it looked like, but they actually did they shot from behind her while she was flying, and she was like shooting at the guys. And they did it practically. So they put her up in a rig and then followed with a camera behind them. And so the rig is set up right here, and they winched it all the way to the top so that it could fly. And so she was here rigged up to it, and then the camera guy was rigged there following behind her.
Oh, wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds
so like
painful.
it looked painful, but she said it actually wasn't. So there, I tried to get some photos. There they are. There's the camera guy sitting in the rig. I don't know. That's her lined up for it, and that's him sitting there. Yeah,
That's so
it's like
cool.
amazing what they do on those shows.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, no problem.
So Carrie Johnson is asking about Jesse Graff in the chat. Jesse Graff was the American Ninja Warrior. If you don't know, folks.
Oh yeah,
contestant, yeah.
She was on Supergirl.
Oh, she was?
Oh, so was she actually on Supergirl doing stunts?
She came in, I think, as a character.
That's right. That's right. You know what? She did work on Supergirl. You're right.
She did the first season, but she made a cameo, I think, on the second season.
Oh, cool.
As herself, I think.
Nice. Huh. Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, and she does kick ass on American Ninja Warrior, folks.
Yeah.
She was actually the first woman on that show to conquer like I don't know what they call the final thing. I forgot what they call it, but
Mm-hmm. She is a hero to many, which is really cool.
Yeah. In the chat, XX Dragon XX36 randomly asks, should I get an Xbox One even though I have a PS4? I'm going to say sure, sir. I have an Xbox One and I love it. I have no idea what that has to do with what we're talking about, but sure.
Get a Nintendo Switch. Right?
I got an Xbox One in my
we know
toilet.
Cassandra has one because she got it at the end of our Super Geeked Up show. I have not. I've looked for one. I can't get one anywhere here until
You
April
still
again.
can't get one?
Not till April. Not till April. You can't get anymore.
Oh.
Okay, well, I will say this. I like that Nintendo is taking their graphics and just amping them up, but they're still doing the cartoon thing. Like, it looks really good.
So you're enjoying it?
Zelda.
You like Zelda?
I did. Yeah, I played it a little bit.
I've seen an advert for that new Nintendo thing where you do it with your hands. So fighting with your hands and that, it's sort of like
yeah,
cool.
That's the Switch. So one of the games with the Switch, we shouldn't be talking about this. This isn't the show.
That's all right. It's fine.
It's a Nintendo show now.
Yeah. Hey, folks.
Anyway, I'll just say it really quickly. The two controllers come off, and then you can do battles with another person. So like they tell you to look at the other person, and then they go 3, 2, 1, and then they like pause, and they'll give you like a random time to then fire at the person. So it's like as if you're drawing a gun, and then you have to shoot them. And so there's some really cool games that way.
That's neat.
Nice.
I mean, like if you played it or anything.
Right.
You're not missing out, Jeff.
If you're cool enough to have somebody present it to you at the end of a show that you're on,
you have to go watch the end of the last Super Geeked Up. It was so funny.
Yeah, you got to watch it. The way she gets the Switch is just amazing. So how about this? What is do you have like what's the most I don't know, you have a favorite stunt or most like I don't know, just with the most amazing stunt you've ever done?
Oh,
and like, well, I guess it could be officially or in real life if you just happen to do something like Ian, if you happen to be hit by a car and did 3 somersaults.
And 3 somersaults in the air. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be on these shows we're talking about. It could be on any show or movie.
Okay, the first thing that's popping in my head right now is, although it wasn't a stunt, it was more of the experience. When I worked on Game of Thrones, there was this moment where I played one of the children of the forest in it, and we stepped out of the cave and we saw this huge area of White Walkers, and the fake snow was blowing, and like I was so cold, and we were on camera, and I was just seeing all this, and I was like, this is like everything I ever wanted. This is the coolest moment in my life. And I started like crying on camera, like a little bit. It was like super cheeseball, but like that was like one of the like coolest moments I think in film for me. So
nice. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I hope that's an okay story. I know it's
absolutely
not a crazy stunt, but
no, that's a totally cool story. did the producers that tell you stop crying, please?
They said, we're gonna cut you out of Game of Thrones if you don't stop crying, please.
Right.
Yeah. Was
We
it just
also
so
heard your
cold that
movie
your
kisses are
tears
very
turned to
good.
ice?
What?
What was
it
that?
like
Ian?
so cold that your tears just turned to ice anyway,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they couldn't tell?
Yeah, pretty much. My eyes kept drying out because of the wind. So like I was crying, but it was more like liquidating my eyes. So if that's a word, I'm gonna go with it.
I actually had a good question from Carrie. I was just gonna share in a second for you. But is that what happened with the kiss and arrow? Were you crying during it? Was that the problem?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
This is the greatest moment. My first TV kiss.
Yeah. This is my moment. Oh, that's
All right.
exactly what happened.
All right. The next script I said, you got to make sure I work on a lot of kisses into.
Oh my god.
High heels too.
Right. Like in the middle of this fight scene, she suddenly grabs him and kisses him.
I'm going to boom boom kabow, you guys, soon. Kapow.
So here, Carrie has a good question for you. Carrie Johnson in the chat. Cassandra, does it create friction among stunt performers when actors want to do more of their own stunts, like they're taking jobs?
Oh, that's a really great question. This is going to sound really rude. If you're a good stunt performer, no, that's our job, is to be there to support the actor through the action. Like our job is to make them feel comfortable, make them look good, and make them feel confident about what they're doing. So no, we're excited. We encourage that they do their own stunts if it's possible and if it's safe. But if they don't want to do it, that's why we're there. We're there to, like, if they get tired from a fight scene, that's why we're there. We're just there as support and safety. So thank you so much for asking that question, because that is that's something that I like to encourage with the people that I'm working with, as well as a lot of my friends, because we are there in support of them.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Carrie. That was a great question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I know you got to scoot on out of here. You want to give some links, though, where people can check out your YouTube videos and other cool stuff?
Oh, dear. I have all the links.
Yes, you do. She does have all the links.
If you want to check out my YouTube channel, I have NerdsRL on YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter as Cassandra Ebner. And Instagram is cassandra.ebner. And you can find any of my other links through there. So.
And we'll put all those links in the description section of this video as well, folks. So after we're done live, you can find them there and click away and watch all our cool stuff. Like I said, you can watch the Lara Croft fan film they done, and Demon X trailer, and tons of YouTube videos that she does as well.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for being on again. Again, folks, watch if you haven't seen Super Geeked Up, it's episode 210. It's our latest episode that she was on with the Demon X cast. We had a lot of fun there, doing a lot of geeky games.
It was a lot of fun. Go watch it, and then you'll see me go like this when I don't want to say it. You just have to go watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, wait, we also you did some geeky accents, right? Didn't we play that game?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did a lot of fun games. We'll have to find out some superhero games to do on this one, unless I'm missing the games that you guys are about to play.
Yeah, you're missing all the best stuff. See you later. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, that's a great idea, though. You should just host this show and give us good ideas like that.
No, we'll email. It'll be good. Or
Yeah.
people in the comments can tell us what kind of superhero games we should play.
That's a great idea.
you
Please
go.
do, folks, if you have suggestions. We're always up for fun games. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Cassandra. You rock as always. And we'd love to have you back on any of the shows anytime.
Of course. And I would love to be on it. And Marks will have to geek out about choreography on another day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Nice meeting you, Ian.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to continue on here, of course. Now we're going to talk about all the shows that came out this past week. So Arrow, almost not Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. That's what was this week. Try to keep track of it all. Let's see here. And then if you're in the chat, of course, keep typing away. And Carrie Johnson says, great guest. Yes, Cassandra is great. Thank you, Carrie. Glad you had fun watching her. Thank you for that question. And thank you, everybody. And thanks for Cassandra's mom, who's probably not watching anymore because she's off. But thank you for watching. All right, let's see here. We're going to start with Arrow, right?
Yes, let's fire away.
Oh, man, you are just... I think you just wanted to do the show with me so you do all these horrible puns every week.
I know, right?
He's like, finally, I have an outlet for them.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to lead the Arrow discussion. So this week's episode of Arrow was the 16th episode of season 5. The episode is titled Checkmate, and it was written by Beth Schwartz and Sarah Tarkoff, who have written plenty of other episodes before. It's directed by Ken Shane. So in this, since this is called Checkmate, obviously what happens is Oliver finally confronts Prometheus and says, "I'm challenge you to a game of chess, and whoever wins, you have to leave Star City." And no, that didn't. I wish that happened, kind of actually, but that's not what happened.
That would be interesting.
That would be right. Like they were just like doing a chess.
That's why he's like, you don't understand the rules of the game because it's supposed to be chess.
Right. That's why he said that. He's like, I was playing checkers, and you're playing. All right, what really happens is we'll do a quick recap of what happened in the episode, and then we'll talk about what we thought of it, and we want to hear your thoughts. So the episode opens with Oliver traveling to some remote location, and he finds Talia in the present day, where in the people she's training to fight, and then she reveals that she is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Oliver never knew that before knowing her, and that she tells him that Prometheus is Adrian Chase. So Oliver finally knows who Prometheus is, and he goes back to the office, and there's a lot of obviously tension in the office between him and Adrian, where they can't really say from all these other people who they are. So there's a lot of cool tension there. Oliver finds out Adrian has taken Susan hostage, Oliver's girlfriend, and Felicity uses her connections at Helix, yeah, to find Susan. But then she has to agree to do kooky stuff for them, like hack government drones in exchange for their help. And then they do manage. They go to different places trying to find Susan. They finally find her and rescue her. And Oliver has a big fight scene with Prometheus. And maybe it looks like he might defeat him, but Talia comes in, shoots Oliver in the leg, and knocks him out. Must have been some kind of drug in it, I'm assuming. And then the episode ends up with Oliver chained up someplace Talia and Adrian have taken him, and looks like Adrian is going to torture him. And there was a bunch of flashback stuff about Russia that I just couldn't give a shit about. Anyway.
I don't think anyone can give a shit about the flashbacks to Russia, to be honest.
So I guess we'll jump off on that. I do know someone who's told me they've been waiting for all the Bratva stuff flashback for years now, so they love it. Personally, when Talia was in the Russian flashback stuff, awesome. When she's not there, I don't care. I don't care at all. I think Ian, you might have said this before to me, but ever since after season 2, I could not care less about any of the flashback stuff. I really wish they just phased the whole thing out. They should have just ended the flashbacks.
Yeah, I agree.
And just focus on the modern day stuff, because that's the stuff I care about.
I mean, but that said, the flashback one they did on Mad Dog was quite interesting when they showed how he became Mad Dog. That's probably the best one all season, that flashback. I agree with you. If they did flashbacks on the different characters and their origins, maybe I would be more interested in rather just Oliver all the time.
Yeah, I agree, because they have to stretch out that storyline so much during the season. But
exactly.
They're gonna have to change that after season 5. So
right, because now they've caught up.
Yeah.
Would have actually said they're going to change that after season 5, didn't they? You know, they said there'd be no more flashbacks after this season.
Have they said that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
because
Right
not-
before this season started, they said this would be the last season that they'll be doing flashbacks.
Well, that makes sense. I will say, excuse me, that though I was looking at IMDb for for who wrote this episode, and a couple episodes from now in the description it does say something about in the quick log line, Oliver bringing the Bratva in to help him against Prometheus or Talia or something. So I guess the whole reason for the flashbacks is the Bratva's going to come into modern day times as well, to help him. But I mean, whatever, that's happened before.
Yeah, makes sense.
In the chat, Carrie Johnson says, strange that Ollie would train and know a woman for years and never get her last name. Talia who? Well,
I do that all the time.
great. I had assumed, I guess, that he knew she was Ra's al Ghul's daughter, but she does never say that in what they show. And I actually could buy that. I mean, she was just training her. She was very mysterious, that she wouldn't reveal much about her. Like, I'm okay with that. Is that okay with you guys, or what did you think about that? Him not knowing.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Well, see, I'm confused about how long she actually trained him.
I don't think she trained her very long at all, actually, either, right?
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2 episodes of flashback, I think.
It seemed like a very brief training. I actually would have liked if it was longer, but
All we saw was like, here's a bow and arrow and a hood, and let's go
Yeah.
kill some people and see you're cool and bye.
Do you know what they need to do? Do you know what they need to do? Bring onto Arrow. They need to bring in the Rocky Balboa training montage.
You need a training montage. Yeah, they're missing that.
They need a training montage.
yeah,
Maybe
him and Talia, sure.
Yeah, maybe they
Then
should
they got-
replace the
they gotta do the
flashbacks
song.
with training montage.
Do the
Yeah,
Rocky
do that
song?
song from Team America, but montages.
Oh. In the chat, listeners made is saying Deo. That's going to come in when we talk about Legend. I really wish it didn't, but oh god. All right. But we'll talk about that later when we get to Legends.
Deo.
Listeners may ask. We can answer this. Listeners may. Is Talia the woman who played on Andromeda with Kevin Sorbo? Yes, it's Lexa
Yes.
Doig. She was the ship AI on Andromeda.
Yeah, I'm surprised that show didn't ruin her career. There we go.
Oh, you don't. All right, Marks, you like that show, right?
I'm sorry, what show?
Andromeda.
Yeah, I like the show. Okay, I like the drama especially.
Yeah, I'm happy to see. She does a really good job as Talia, though. I think she's very well.
Oh yeah, she's doing a great job. So
I thought she was good in Andromeda. I just didn't like the show.
it
was so.
had its ups and downs.
I love Kevin Sorbo though, and I'm glad to see him back on Supergirl now as a guest star. That's great.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's talk more about besides the flashbacks, because that's not really the main point of the episode. So, I mean, overall, the opening scene with Talia, I thought was fucking awesome. That was great. And the whole reveal there and all that stuff. And I think it makes total sense because he killed her father. I mean, it makes sense why she's pissed at him and wants revenge. Like I don't have any qualms with why she's doing that,
Yeah, her
and,
and Prometheus both lost fathers. By Arrow.
Right. Oh, right. Yes, and that's obviously makes sense why she would relate to why Prometheus wants revenge as well, right? I mean, overall, I think it actually was a very solid episode. The stuff with like Adrian, like all that kind of subtext and tension with him as between him and Oliver, and I think that was really good. I actually think he does a really good job at playing the villain now. And like he keeps saying like being 10 steps ahead. Let's see. I mean, I think the whole idea of work about the episode focusing on them rescuing Susan, right, and trying to take down Prometheus. My only issue is I haven't really been sold on the Oliver-Susan relationship. Again, I just don't really care. It's kind of a weird choice. She never really was built that much up. So I get why he wants to save her, but it would have been a lot more, I guess, meaningful to me if it was Thea or someone else that he had a stronger connection with, right? And just like Susan, I'm like, well, okay, I don't really care if you save her or not, to be honest with you. But
personally, I think it would have been better if they got there to save her, but they didn't quite get there in time,
She was
and
dead.
it kills her.
Oh, they kind of
tragic.
set Ollie off the deep end, kind of.
Yeah. So like kills her and Ongi just goes off the deep end and goes ballistic to a point where he's fighting, but he's not really in control of what he's doing, sort of thing.
See, Oliver spoke for us. He was like, I should have never gotten a relationship with Susan. And I'm just like, yes, you shouldn't have.
His reasoning, of course, is I shouldn't get a relationship with anybody. I think we're just like No, just get into a relationship with somebody we care about.
Yeah, someone decent. Because at the time, she was kind of a jerk. I don't know what attracted him to her.
Maybe it was just because Thea hated her so much. She was like, haha, I'm going to date her now because Thea hates her.
Take off my sister. It'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I want her with, I think you do too, Marks, with Dinah, obviously, the new Black Canary. I mean,
I think she's cool. You know,
really
I only wish that they'd actually treated Laurel Nance with the same sort of storyline and build-up as they gave to Dinah. Because Laurel Nance, she started off as the doubting ex-girlfriend sort of thing, then became the alcoholic. Her storyline was so soapy until she eventually became the Canary. I just think her character's been the least well served by the series, to be honest.
I agree.
She had her arc was really bad. They did a good job tearing her down with the
addiction,
abuse,
alcohol, mm-hmm.
And they never really built her back up right. And
it feels like they're finally now with Dinah Drake. They feel like they finally have Black Canary right. I think they're going to do this one the correct way.
I found the evil Laurel Nance from the parallel universe more interesting than
I agree. I actually liked it when they brought her back to guest star as Black Siren. That was cool.
I'm waiting for Black Siren versus Black Canary.
Oh, they got to do that, right? Come on. Particularly when they got to wait till Oliver starts dating Dinah Drake. And then it's going to be then they're going to figure it.
They've been real subtle about whether they're going to date or not. Because somebody asked the actor about that plays Arrow. And he's like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean Arrow and Black Canary have to be together,
Oh, yeah, they're going to be. Come on. They're just trying to play coy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you can't think of Green Arrow and Black Canary without them together, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, they've been together a lot in the comic books.
In the chat, Kerry Johnson talking about the Talia vengeance thing. He says, funny how Talia wants vengeance for a dad she was estranged from. So I guess for him, it didn't work maybe quite as well because she hadn't been around her father much. I mean, but her line is right. Even though she was estranged, it's still her father, right? Obviously, there's still that bond there.
Yeah.
Maybe she feels guilty about the fact that she's estranged from him, and she's kind of redirecting that guilt towards taking out on Oliver,
or that she wasn't there maybe to help save him, because she had left the.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what their falling out was and her relationship with the League of Assassins and stuff. Is she going to try it for leadership or not, or what's going on there?
Yeah, because she's the eldest daughter, so she would have actually inherited it instead of Nissa, probably. I'm assuming, if she stayed. Maybe she was like, Dad, I don't really want to take over the whole world. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we got to have a throwdown match between Nissa and Talia. That's got to be
sure.
Cool. So I think Adrian Chase and Prometheus, this was the episode that really showed truly how good a villain he is now. So I thought that was really well done. How he's manipulating Oliver and, just pretty much just in his face, like he called Wild Dog, and just can't do anything. Set up with the booby traps and everything. You just want to punch him so bad, but it's he's outsmarted you.
Oh, I just love the politics. I love the tension and the politics in the mayor's office. What you just mentioned. He calls dog and stuff like that, and they're just so dying to have a crack at him. He's just brilliant.
And I like Curtis's balls.
You like Curtis's balls?
I had to say something.
Who doesn't?
He has T-spheres or whatever.
These spheres are cool. I agree with you. That's a nice addition to his character. They're
I was wondering,
just having him get his ass kicked like you said all the time. They're actually making him useful now.
But basically what that is, he's been kicked in the balls so many times it just detached.
And they became metal.
Yeah. I was wondering if they, that's part of the character in the comic book. So I was wondering if they would go there. I was hoping, since he kept getting beat up all the time. So
now, what do you guys think about the whole Felicity Helix thing?
It's not going to end well.
Oh no, I think it's going to be it's going to obviously totally blow up in her face. It's going to be really bad, right? They're obviously they have way too much power. For some reason, by the way, I find that geeky chick, that's the only one we see from Helix. She was kind of annoying and pompous and kind of arrogant, and I kind of just want her to go away. But it's not that she's that bad, but it's just like it's kind of like, haha, we have all this power and the government's stupid and we're great and so smart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Felicity's kind of become a little bit redundant now because Curtis can do a lot of the same stuff that she can.
I think she's still a little better at hacking than he is. I think he's better at building stuff.
Oh yeah, she's definitely the better hacker. Although, Ian, here's the thing. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I think maybe we've talked about this in an earlier episode. I mean, I know Danielle and I have talked about that. I really feel like in third and fourth seasons, Felicity used to be my favorite, and I think for me, they just destroyed her character. And they've never, I don't think they can ever recover her. And I think they're doing the Helix thing to try to give her something else to do with her character. But I'll be honest with you, at this point, I don't think that character needs to be on the show anymore. Like, it's not really doing it, which I hate to say that because I so loved her so much in the early couple seasons of Arrow. She was great. I don't know what her purpose is really anymore, though.
I think the damage was done when they became romantically involved.
Exactly, I agree.
You know, that's where it kind of went a bit off the boil, I think.
The moonlighting effect, right? Was that the name of the TV show? Once the leads got together, the ratings dropped.
Oh, from Bruce Willis and
Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd. Oh yeah, I mean that's why Mulder and Scully never get together till like the end, right?
Yeah. I don't want to see her leave the show, but it did. That whole relationship really hurt their interaction and her character a lot.
Wouldn't it be just more interesting if she just broke bad?
If she just what?
If she just broke bad and became like an evil computer.
Oh, became evil? That could be interesting.
You know, because they kind of already teased that, and when she was younger, she was sort of like a rebellious anarchist computer hacker sort of thing. You know, so
right. Well, yeah, she was very much like these Helix people.
So it'd be more interesting, you know, seeing her break bad and go back to that, but having more knowledge and more of a grounding on how things work. In
the chat, Listener's Mate says, is Felicity romantically interested in that girl from Helix? It seems they are hitting on each other. Or, well, I didn't really get that vibe so much, but I don't.
You never know. Who knows?
No, you never know. I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, they haven't established anything that Felicity would be, but I mean, that girl could be. The Helix girl certainly could be.
Well, Felicity, I think besides the relationship, they also really missed a big opportunity whenever she got shot and paralyzed, because that could have been a really great story arc for her character.
Yeah, I think the mistake they made there was actually making it so she could walk again. It was more interesting while she was in the chair. You know, having a day-to-day struggle.
Exactly, because it happened like next episode.
More or less, it was kind of insulting as well. I mean, my friend Raisa, who co-hosts the the SFP podcast with me on the for the chat segment, she felt she was really upset about that Felicity could walk within 2 episodes of actually being shot. She was upset about that because Raisa is disabled and in a wheelchair, so she found it pretty insulting.
Yeah, it trivializes that kind of disability a little bit.
Listeners made actually. I'm sorry, Marks. Listeners made just commented on that actually. And here's a nice pun for you, Marks. He said, "Yeah, since they put Felicity in the wheelchair, they kind of just rolled her off." Terrible.
or they just been spinning their wheels.
Oh boy, great. Apologies to people who are actually because what I'm gonna say though is Oracle from the comics. So obviously Barbara Gordon becomes Oracle before they did the whole fucking New 52 nonsense.
And it took them about 50 years before she learned to walk again.
But Oracle, I actually thought I like Barbara Gordon much. She became much more interesting to me when she was Oracle, right? And she was in the wheelchair, and it was all about her like computer skills and hacking and stuff, right? And they could have done something similar with Felicity here, I think, too, and have been very interesting.
Yeah, there's a missed opportunity. It would have been really, really neat to see her struggle with that and such.
And it would have been another role model for people, in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
That's true. Because you're right. You're very rarely. I mean, TV has done that much better job, I think, of getting much more diverse with people, right? But you very seldomly see people in wheelchairs and stuff like that, right? I think Glee. The Glee character was that's the first one that comes to my mind. But outside of that,
Well, back in the 70s, they did a show called Ironside with Raymond Burr, and Ironside was sort of like this big detective dude who was in a wheelchair.
that's right.
And that's the only thing I can think of really that where the person in a wheelchair's been at the forefront of the show all the time.
And Professor X is off and on.
Oh, of course, Professor X. Yes, I know. Yeah. I mean, normally he is, though, I guess, right? But
yeah, they kind of just roll him on.
You guys aren't going to stop with this.
It's time to hit the brakes on this.
Yeah. No, but come on. In modern times, he's in a hover one, so he doesn't roll at all. He just hovers around.
He hovers, yeah.
All right, we're going to do ratings now, or anything else to add about
two more things I want to say real quick about this episode. I like Anatoly, that actor, David Nichol, I think is his name. I might be mispronouncing that. Because he's from Stargate Atlantis. I loved his character on Stargate Atlantis, and I just like his Russian
Is he on
character.
Stargate Atlantis?
Yeah.
Who is he?
He was one of the scientists. He was like the second most senior scientist to McKay. I can't remember his character's name.
Oh yeah, he was kind of like the Russian, the East European scientist.
He might have been.
Oh wow, I forgot that because I love that.
He had an accent on there. I can't remember if he was really Russian or not.
Yeah, I think he was meant to be East European, from the Eastern Bloc or something.
Yeah, so he was great on there, and I like his character, the Bratva character he plays. And then one last thing that I thought, okay, so I've done film and stuff, especially on low budget. I completely get why this happened, but I just thought it was really funny in a way when it was interesting when Pike was in the hospital. Did you look at that hospital room?
Yeah.
It looks like a stock room. There's supplies like stocked up over the area and stuff. It's like they had to like make do with this room to make it look like a hospital. They stuck a hospital bed in there, and then they forgot. Maybe they were thinking it was going to be out of focus in the background, but I was like, where are they sticking that? He's like in the.
I didn't know that at all. That's so weird. They've had so many scenes in hospitals on Arrow, like all the time. You would think they must, and those rooms have looked fine, right? They must have. You think they would have a set hospital.
I'm sure there was some production reason why they couldn't, but they really should have put a curtain or something in the background to hide that because it was like,
yeah, he's only the captain. Like, throw him in the crappy stock room.
Well, it felt odd, and then I rewound to watch again, and then I realized, whoa, wait a minute, where is he at?
Well, what's most amazing is you were watching on a VCR. That's fantastic.
Electronically rewound. But anyway, I like this episode quite a bit. So yeah, let's rate it.
Okay, before we do that, Eros Orocho at Hunter's Realm just tweeted in about our guest Cassandra. He said Cassandra Ebner should be cast as either Lady Blackhawk or Raven. Lady Blackhawk I could definitely see. She's part of the Birds of Prey a lot of times.
I mean, she'd be good for Raven too.
I think she'd be pretty cool with a crossbow, actually. Or bow and arrow.
Like you said, Huntress. Raven is Teen Titans, right?
Yeah. You just have to get her goth on.
Yeah, get a purple cape.
Well, that too.
Purple hair.
All right. Oh, yeah. So rating. So what we do, folks, is each show we have our own distinct ratings. We do boxing glove arrows for Arrow. So out of 5, Marks, how many boxing glove arrows do you give it?
So this was one of my favorite episodes for a while now. So I probably make it. It's not my absolute 100% favorite, so I'm gonna make it 4.5.
All right, Ian, how many do you give it?
I'll give it 4.
All right. See, I was gonna go 4. I think I'll go 4.5 too, because you're right. This was actually a really good episode. But my only really issue is that I think Susan's a weak motivation. That's all. But outside of that, I think everything else worked.
Yeah, that mistake was made.
Yeah, you're right. So they got to go with it now. There's nothing you can do with it, right? All right. So good. So we all enjoyed that episode. Let's see here. We're going to do some news now.
Yeah, we can do some quick news.
Oh, good. That's much better than a long, drawn-out news.
We'll do it in the flash.
Oh, my God. Dude,
We're done.
I'm not sure how much longer we'll be able to do the show, folks.
A few quick things. All right, so Black Lightning news. We talked about Black Lightning a couple episodes ago. It's the pilot. They announced that the pilot will be filming in and around Atlanta from March 21st to April 1st. People found this out because they've been doing like open casting calls for like high schoolers and other people. They also have cast Christine Adams as the ex-wife. I think her name's Lynn on Black Lightning, the ex-wife of Black Lightning. And the character is supposed to exude confidence and intelligence. Although she's got a mischievous side, she's not one to be trifled with when it comes to family. And you might remember her. She played in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Agent Weaver. And she's also appeared in some other shows like Batman Begins and Heroes. And I think she was even in Tron Legacy. So
Cool.
So there's some Black Lightning news as that pilot shapes up for the CW. Interesting, they're in Atlanta. I wonder if that means rather than Vancouver, or maybe it's just a pilot. They'll change that later. I don't know.
That's very super surprising to me because all the other shows shoot in Vancouver. They obviously even moved Supergirl from LA to Vancouver when it became part of CW.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's surprising. So another bit of news real fast. I've been saying for the Flash, I've been saying a while. I hope that they quit Big Bad being speedster all the time, and apparently they agree now because at Paley Fest, where Danielle's at right now, the showrunner Andrew Kreisberg, right? I'm terrible with names.
He's one of them.
He said next season we're not going to have a speedster as the main villain, so that's official now. And he said with and also they said that they know who Savitar is. You know, we know who is under there. We've been planning this for a while, and I
would certainly hope so. I mean, how could they not know who it is?
You never know.
I have a theory on who Savitar is.
Okay, wait. We'll save that for the Flash discussion, though.
Well, I'll say this: when Arrow teased that someone was going to die, like when they opened last season with that tombstone, the producers told people, journalists who I don't know who they were talking to, told them that they didn't know who that was going to be yet, but they were going to figure it out as they progressed.
Really?
Yeah. So you never know. You never know.
I don't know, but with like these big at this point of the season with these big villains, right? I think you would hope that they know who everybody is.
I would hope so. Yeah. Yeah, and that's right. And also, I think he mentioned that the musical episode's coming up. It was definitely inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, that's this.
Oh, they said it was inspired by Buffy?
Yeah, in part, yeah. So
yeah, that's this Tuesday, isn't it? The musical.
Yeah. So, folks, you're right. We're very excited. We've been talking about this every week, pretty much.
Yeah.
So this Tuesday on the Flash, Supergirl comes over to have a musical crossover episode, and they're going to be the Music Meister's the villain. So Barry and Kara get kind of stuck somehow in his, I don't know, kind of in their minds or something with him, and they have to follow this musical script that he set out for them to be able to break out of there. So you can see Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist doing some singing and dancing, some like cool stuff.
Yeah, you could also get Jesse L. Martin doing some singing.
Oh yeah,
and dancing.
he's got to be in there obviously because he's a Broadway guy too.
I mean, he was bringing it in Rent. You know,
oh God, yeah, man,
yeah,
so good.
That.
He's so good.
Oh, and real quick, about Sin, because I had to look it up. Her last episode was Uprising, 12th episode of 3rd season, like where they had a big fight with Rick's men and stuff. That's the last we saw of her. And I did look, and she is a superhero in Birds of Prey, and she was going to be trained to be the next Lady Shiva. So.
Oh, Lady Shiva! Wow, Lady Shiva's like one of like the best martial artists and like swordswoman ever lived.
Yeah, which I don't think they've had Lady Shiva on this show, have they? Or any of the shows?
Correct us if we're wrong, folks, but I don't think so. That's interesting.
Next season.
Yeah, there you go. Well, maybe that could be the new. That could be the Arrow villain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Cassandra Ebner could play her.
There you go.
We're just gonna cast her and everything. All right, that's it. All right, there you go. There's some news for you, folks. So now we still got Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash to talk about. And let's see. So I'm gonna be right back, folks. So, but Ian, can you kind of do an intro for us for what happened on Legends this week, and I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, on Legends of Tomorrow, the Legends learn where the last fragment of the Spear of Destiny is hidden, and when they track Commander Steel to NASA headquarters in 1970, and it's all set during the Apollo 13 mission, which, as we all remember, it went horribly wrong. When it actually happened, they were very lucky to get the astronauts back. But in this episode of Legends, the disaster of the Apollo 13 doesn't actually happen because they have earbud phone on board the Apollo 13, replacing one of the astronauts, and he's there to go after the Spear of Destiny, which Commander Steele has actually hidden in the flagstaff, which is on the moon, sort of thing. So we have, while this is going on, we have Sarah Lance and the guys, and Ray Palmer, the Adam, going after the Apollo 13 to try and beat them to the flag. While Professor Stein and Mick Rory and Jats are at mission control, and there's a bit in this which is sort of like just so stupid it even sort of like even drove me nuts. And I actually like Legends for its stupidity and its absurdity, but this part where Professor Stein burst into song and Mick Rory joins in with him, it was just sort of like, it was funny. But it just sort of like seemed a bit off.
Those silly Brits.
The other, yeah, and and they're saying it's a British tradition. No one in Britain would do that. If you did that in the streets in Britain, you'd get mugged or something. I'm sorry, but that doesn't happen. But the episode was it was written, I think it was written by Greg Berlanti, or no, that's the writers. It was directed by Kevin Mock. I can't find the. It
was written by Graham Godfrey.
Yeah, I couldn't find the writer there on the IMDb thing. And I thought it was a fun episode, but sort of like the bit where this burst out in song in the NASA HQ, I kind of had issues with that. It was funny, but it just seemed out of place.
They're just jealous about the musical episode. They want their actors to sing.
Yeah, right. I think the music master must have been warming up on Legends of Tomorrow before going on to.
Oh my god! I mean, this is not a diss on Victor Garber, who I know can sing, but I honestly was just cringy, and I couldn't even I had to look away from the screen. It was so embarrassing for the character and uncomfortable. I was just like why?
It was kind of car crash television. You sort of you kind of sat there watching, bemused, and kind of chuckling, and then you're sort of thinking, why am I watching this?
And folks, he was singing Deo is what the character decided to start singing.
It's like Deo, Deo.
That's pretty good.
The rest of the words.
Yeah, it's good. It's because it's a British tradition.
right. They're afraid British. By the way, in the chat, listeners mate said, I guess Jeff just didn't want to sing Deo, so that's why he left. That's actually true, Anthony. And then Carrie Johnson says, Stein suffered premature ejacularity. He jumped the musical crossover gun. Right. Exactly.
What I thought was so funny about it was Mick Rory joining in, and how uncomfortable he looked trying to sing this song. It's sort of like it's sort of like, I can't remember the name of the actor now, but it's kind of like he wasn't having to act for that moment because he was genuinely uncomfortable with it.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. When they wrote it and did, they probably oh, this will be so hilarious. Have Martin singing this. No.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying for that Guardians of the Galaxy moment where he breaks out and dance to distract. Just didn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, but that works in Guardians of the Galaxy because that's actually in the character, isn't it?
Was that Star-Lord who does that though? Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Martin Stein is not Star-Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he's not.
He's not cool enough to be Star-Lord. But overall, I just thought the episode was pretty good until that moment. That moment kind of took points away from it for me.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Like, and folks, if you heard the show, usually, again, I am criticizing the show for making no sense whatsoever. The 2 weeks in a row now, though, I've actually enjoyed the Legends episode. Last week's, on the show, I really enjoyed, and this week's I actually did as well. I can't believe it. It's like a new trend or new streak. They've got 2 in a row that I've actually thought have been good. Well, actually, the first 2 of the season were also good. I shouldn't say that. So they have done that before. Yeah, no, I mean, I actually thought it was a solid episode. Again, they didn't do like any really kooky timeline changing things. The stuff with Commander Steele, like I've always actually that guy is really good in that role. The stuff with him and Nate, I think they do a really good job with that. So like anything with him, I think is really well done. And he does, obviously, it's very very heroic sacrifice he makes. I actually, what I really loved the most though was the stuff with Thawne and Ray up on the shuttle stuff. Not a shuttle, but whatever.
The uneasy alliance that they have to form.
Yeah, like that. The stuff with the dialogue and stuff with them and how they have to work together, like, and getting more about Thawne's motivation was actually really well done, and I actually found it very interesting to watch. And it was nice seeing Ray not being an idiot and actually like doing something productive.
Yeah, but you got to admit, it did pull out the cheesy grin when he was walking on the moon.
I can get that. I mean, I can get that though. Like, I would be awed to probably be able to like recreate that, right?
Oh, I think anyone who sort of like grew up in the 70s during all the space astronaut stuff, that probably would have been like that.
Listener's Mate says they did. Well, first off, he's singing Deo in the chat. But he also says they did a very good job with the 1970s wardrobe. It made me think everyone was from the Brady Bunch. All right, there you go. Marks, what did you think about the episode?
I liked it overall. I thought it was interesting seeing Rip trying to adjust back into the team after they've kind of got more cohesive now, and that kind of tension between her and Sarah of leadership. I thought the scene where Rip like says hi to Commander Steele, and he like punches him, and everybody just shocked, and he goes, he didn't have the right credentials, and they're like, well, credentials. That was pretty funny. I always like Reverse Flash. That actor's good. That character is really good. And the British accents were funny. I was thinking they were going to be worse than they were, but
I was actually they were good. Well done.
Yeah, they weren't half bad. To me, as an American, at least. Maybe Ian's like, terrible, bloody hell, it's horrible. I don't know. I was glad to see Ray in his suit again, since he seems to not be wearing it very often. Although I was a little disappointed that his suit that he couldn't take. That he had such a hard time taking on a Thawne without his powers. Essentially, couldn't really run and stuff. And then they got damaged with a few knife stabs. That was kind of sad.
Ray's suit is like from Toys R Us, really. Basically.
I think it's so fragile.
It's just it's like falls apart at anything.
I know. The Ray with the flag was funny. I liked how whenever he thought he was gonna be stuck, he's like, now I know how Matt Damon felt. That's pretty funny.
Well, yeah, it was all right.
I thought
that was okay. I mean, yeah, it was okay. It was obviously referencing the last year's The Martian.
It was better than Deo.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than a stupid lightsaber line from the Camelot one.
So yeah, definitely a decent episode. So
another thing that I enjoyed was the Nate talking to his grandfather, and when his grandfather dies, his grandfather arranges to sort of like meet Nate's father at NASA. I kind of got that moment at the end when Nate is there and he's talking to his father as a young boy, and I thought that was a nice little moment.
It was. So, Mark, you said you liked the thing about Rip not being sure where he is. For some reason, that wasn't really working for me. Like, I don't know. It kind of, the fact that Rip was kind of there and he had no idea what his place was anymore was kind of throwing me off, just because I guess I'm so used to him being the captain. So
Yeah, I don't want to stay like that for very long, but I think it was a nice touch, not just to be like smooth. Suddenly he's a leader again, and it also shows that the team this season so far has actually grown. They're less. They work better as a team than they did last season, for sure. They're pretty bad.
Yeah. It's interesting because Sarah, I love Sarah when she was on Arrow. Like she's so good, and that's like kind of the main reason I actually wanted to check this show out. But I don't know. I guess I think it makes sense. She is the person who should become captain out of anybody on those freaking clowns. But I don't know. It's like something just not quite gelling with that, though. It's like for me, Sarah's like the warrior, right? She's like the one who kicks ass.
Yeah.
And in this episode, somehow she became like she said. One of the lines was actually like, "I know science," and like now she's kind of like she knows all this ship and science stuff, and I don't know. It's like I feel they're not very consistent with what characters their skills and abilities are, and they like to just kind of jump all over the place. So now Sarah's like really good in science as well.
Yeah. Well, they took these characters from different shows that really had nothing to do with time travel and technology, and they're trying to make them fit in the crew. And I think that's really rough. Like I have a hard time believing that Jefferson's like, yeah, I could fix a time machine, sure,
right? Because
like,
he was
mechanically skilled, but come on.
Yeah, but at least they've been consistent with that.
Yeah,
they've been consistent with that. Whereas, what Jeff's saying, they've not really been very consistent with what Sarah's skill set is.
True. I don't quite buy her in that position. I think because she used to feel like more like the Wolverine in a way of the team in some ways. Like she was this, really good loner assassin type person. Yeah. And then for her to suddenly switch to become the Cyclops of the team and be this leader role.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It's a big shift.
They might write her out though. They might just write her out at the end of the season because the whole thing with Legends is the cast is supposed to rotate a little bit. So you get different characters.
I don't want to see her go.
Although, unfortunately, here's the thing though. Like, I loved her in Arrow, but unfortunately, like now in Legends, I don't care that much about her, which sucks. I thought she was so awesome, and I like Katie Leitz. I think does a great job with her. But that's the thing. I think when you go to Legends and they just fuck the characters up, like if they came from other shows, that's the problem with it.
Yeah. Well, and there's an interesting dilemma too, right? They talk about still and like you can't go back to your family because that would change time. But then you think about it and you're like, but you're not in your right time because of time travel in the first place. Why is that time travel okay, but not like, fixing it?
That's always the dilemma with time travel shows, right? Like there's always that paradox going on about why is it okay for this person to do it and not this person or this? And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard. It takes a lot of subtle writing that the show doesn't quite. They take more of a Doctor Who timey-wimey type approach compared to like 12 Monkeys. It's really they put a lot of thought into the ripples and stuff. Right.
Well, like one of my favorite all-time movies and an amazing time travel movie as well, The Terminator. As Sarah Connor says at the end of that, I'm paraphrasing, but she says something like when she's thinking about how, Reese came back and winds up being the father of her son, right? Yeah. She's at the end. She has some line like when she's in the Mexico in the desert, saying like, "Oh, it makes your head like gives you a headache or something." Trying to think about this stuff or something.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it poses an interesting question because can any of them come back to their original lives or not, or are they just totally? Is that over with completely?
Yeah, they're too legendary now.
I mean, I don't know.
In the chat, Carrie Johnson says Sarah has gotten wise after 2 deaths. That's how she knows all the science stuff now.
Yeah. It's a fast way to learn.
Yeah, she had it in her headphones while she was dead, and she kind of learned it in her sleep.
Right. She also somehow must have Lazarus Pit must have imbued her with the power to attract every woman in history to her.
Right. It's a pheromone thing. It's a secret power.
Listeners Mate in the chat says, I used to hate the character of Rory, but now I think he has some of the most driest humor in the whole show, so I kind of like him more now.
Oh, I love the intro that he did this week.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually the best intro they've done because she was the one doing
Because it was actually very true to the show. The intro was very true to the ridiculousness of the show.
It was because he
That was
said
pretty
something. He said something about like half the time we fuck it up worse than or screw it up worse than it already was. It's something about like he was even like talking to the viewer almost like if you haven't figured it out yet or something.
Yeah, that was good. Real good.
They should do more like that.
The writers said that the producers have said that that's one of their favorite characters.
Rory?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just give him any line and he nails it. Yeah.
Let's see here. Anything else we want to talk about with Legends? No, covered everything.
No, I think that's it. Should we give it the fists?
No, we give it fist. What are you talking about? Fisting? Like what the hell? Talking about porn. Jeez.
Should we give it the Iron Fist?
No. What?
Wrong universe.
That's wrong universe. That's no. We do Gideons. We do Gideons for this show.
Oh, right.
So, Marks, how many Gideons will you give it out of 5?
Out of 1 and 5 Gideons, I will give this 3 Gideons.
Ian.
3.
Oh my God, this is gonna be
wow.
first time ever, folks, that I'm gonna give the show the highest rating of everybody here. I'm actually gonna give it 4 Gideons once again. I think it was a good episode.
You're getting converted.
No, let's not go crazy, Marks. I'm sure next week they'll get back to their usual nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want them to go. I wanted to go do another George Lucas episode.
That's pretty funny.
Although actually, I almost should degrade it by half a Gideon just for this fucking Deo, but I guess I won't.
Because of what? Oh, the Deo.
The Deo.
I just wish to picked a better song.
I think maybe if it hadn't been so long, too. It was kind of awkwardly long. I don't know. It was a creative choice.
It was. You're right. It went on very long because they were like trying to give time for Ray to do his nonsense, but just do that quicker.
Yeah, and then they did it at the end as well. They had it playing out on the end credits too.
Oh, that was somewhat amusing, I suppose. But yeah, they should have had him sing like Beyonce or something.
I don't think it knows Beyonce. I would be really surprised if Stein just can whip that out.
Oh yeah, but well, like nothing makes sense usually though, so who cares?
It's true. Who knows? Yeah.
All right, so time to move on to the last show for this week, The Flash, and Marks is going to lead us in this.
Okay, so this was episode 16 of season 3 called Into the Speed Force, and we have a cat guest starring. Every video is better with a cat, so it's good. This episode was written by Brooke Roberts and Judilina Nera. Totally butchered. Yeah, totally butchered it. So Brooke's written a number of Flash episodes, including Flash versus Arrow and Plastique. She's also been a story editor for over 20 episodes.
Judilina, come on, it's not that.
I don't know. Did I mention I'm terrible with names?
So it's like Jude, Lena.
It's my kryptonite. She's written only like 3 other episodes, including Killer Frost, was a notable one. But she's executive story editor of like 16 episodes. So they're usually editing a lot. So anyway, this episode, desperate to stop Savitar and save Wally, Barry turns to the Speed Force for answers. So they find a way to him get in the Speed Force, searching for Wally. Of course, things go wrong. He ends up seeing versions of a bunch of people who've died in the past, like Eddie, Ronnie. It's Ronnie, right? That was Firestorm.
Ronnie, yep.
Captain Cold. And we also see a Wraith. We also see, I think he's called Black Flash, if I'm not mistaken, that we've seen in Legends of Tomorrow. And we also, eventually he does free Wally, but at the sacrifice of Jay having to stay in that trap. And meanwhile, HR is trying to convince Jesse not to go after Savitar, but she does, using the piece from Savitar to help her, and ends up getting a hit in at least.
Mm-hmm.
At least getting us a clue that there is a person inside that suit. which is always good to know. And sadly, she goes off and leaves to go to Earth 3 to be a Flash there while Jay is gone. So this was a pretty good episode overall. It was a strong episode. I liked the cool little opening with the freeze frames and the voiceover. Lots of HR's got good lines all the time, right? So I like this when he's all hyper on coffee and talking about coffee and it's not affecting him. And now we're cooling with helium, or we're talking about Schroeder's cat going like it's cruelty for animals half of the time, or and he's just a man, baby. He's always got cool lines, right? Glad that Wally's free, and I was glad to see this return of different characters who have died in the past. It was kind of cool. And glad to see that Jesse got to actually fight somebody. That I'm bugged by. They're always like telling Jesse, no, you need to stay away or do something, which they did in this episode, but she didn't listen to him. And so it was good to see her kind of stand out a little bit. Unfortunately, then she left. But what I didn't like so much is I'm not a fan of this whole Iris's reaction to the engagement and throughout the episode. And then I was really puzzled by Barry's reaction. So not real thrilled about this conflict going on.
Patty Spivot.
What's that? Oh yeah, now
that's why he goes down with Patty Spivot.
Gives a chance for Patty's gonna come to town all of a sudden, guaranteed.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing though about the Iris and Barry thing. That's kind of like your soapy part of Flash, to be honest.
Yeah,
they've got to have
it before. I've never been down with the Iris Barry. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I've never been a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's one of those like we have to do it because it's a comics thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, so that's kind of what I thought. I'm curious about what you guys thought, and also who you think Savitar could be.
Let me share in the chat first. Listener's Mate says, we all know that the best thing about the Peanuts is Charlie Brown who can't play the piano.
Oh yeah, that was another good HR.
HR world, yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So what'd you
Ian, go ahead.
For one, I think Tom Kavanagh is just a brilliant actor. He just nails it every time.
He is.
He's just all like, I've seen him in lots of other stuff. I even remember him as a warden in the Yogi Bear live feature film.
Really?
Yeah,
wow, yeah.
He's pretty good in that, even though the film was terrible. But it's, I just think I didn't like HR to begin with. I thought it was a little bit too goofy, but he's kind of like grown on me. And I loved it a few weeks ago where you had Harrison Wells and HR, and Harrison Wells was saying, "Well, you're just stupid." I just sort of like, and that just showing you how good of an actor he was. He's like playing two different variations on the same character. It was just cool. But this episode, I really liked it. I loved the scene with Barry and Eddie Thawne. I think that scene was a long time coming. Because we got to see Eddie, still pretty pissed about his relationship with Iris, how that ended, and he's still taking out there. I enjoyed that scene, and it was also great seeing John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrett again. I'd love to see more Jay Garrett. More. I'd love to see an episode of The Flash working with Jay Garrett. Full episode of that. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Overall, I think a very good episode. All the stuff in the Speed Force, I think, was very well done. It was very interesting to watch. Like with all I agree with watching the stuff where the Speed Force. I mean, it's basically the Speed Force embodying, right, all these different people that Barry knew. The stuff with Eddie, I think, was the most really well written and just very awesome to watch. But I mean, everything they did in the Speed Force, I think, was really well done. And it was
Captain Cold.
You know what? It's funny. Even the Captain Cold stuff, I didn't mind. That's how good. Well, it was. The stuff with Jay was very nice. Obviously, very heroic. Obviously, of him, and I mean, very much within his character to take Wally's place and sacrifice himself. And I certainly do hope they don't leave him in there forever. That would suck. So I love Jesse, the character Jesse, and I agree, Mark. I like that, like the B plot kind of. They actually let her shine in this episode, right? So it was cool that she was the one who actually finally. She was the first one who really actually has hurt Savitar. That was great. Like I really dug that. I dug all the interaction with her and HR. I mean, but in both there was a lot of stuff. There's stuff where she was super pissed at him, and she was, and when she punched him and knocked him out. By the way, that was, I thought, hilarious. So good. But then also, later on, obviously he helps her, and they kind of make up, and they have. So there's obviously both tension and nice stuff that going on between them. So what I didn't like is, once again, as usual, like you said, Jesse, like, oh no, Jesse, you can't go into the Speed Force. My name's Barry Allen. Only I can go. You got to trust me, Jesse. Just stay here. So that's just silly. Now I'm okay with it though, because they let her do the B plot, right? And they got the focus on her. So okay, fine. I'm okay with that. I still feel they don't really know what to do with her, which sucks, because I think she really rocks. I don't really think it makes sense that she goes to Earth 3. So she says, I gotta take Jay's place and be the Flash there. Well, okay, what about your own Earth, Earth 2, which doesn't have a Flash, because you've left that one there, and you left your father there. No, why would you go to Earth 3? It makes no fucking sense. That's just silly. And again, I don't know, they bring her in, they got to come up with some kooky reason to get her out again. So that just, I don't know. And also, this is kind of going into the Legends thing now, too. Even on this show, which is an amazing show. I love Flash. It's my favorite show on TV since it's debuted. They're not consistent all the time, right? What I remember Jesse in the past, when they first introduced her in Harrison Wells, she was supposed to be almost, I would say, just as a genius as Harrison Wells was, right? Like, she was supposed to be, incredibly smart on the level of her father. But now in this episode, she needs every other character to explain to her how the Savitar stuff is working and how she's going to go find him, right? When you get the Speed Force, apparently, you get dumber, I guess. And, who cares about your intelligence? You're just fast now. So I don't know. That wasn't really, it wasn't consistent for me, because she's supposed to be Cisco level or even beyond, I would say, in what they've established her.
And yet by the missing that, it's a complete wasted opportunity, because a Flash with that amount of brains, would be a dangerous Flash indeed.
Well, Reverse Flash.
Barry needs an entire team behind him to sort of figure things out, whereas she wouldn't. She'd be like the good version of the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, her and Reverse Flash need to fight.
That would be very cool, actually, because he's very intelligent too. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about? I mean, the whole thing with Jesse and stuff.
Yeah, it made a little more sense this time, I guess, but because it's been consistently every episode, they tell her, no, you stay back. Especially Attack on Gorilla City, it made no sense for her not to join them. I mean, you're gonna go invade a city of super strong, intelligent gorillas to save her dad. Why wouldn't you want two speedsters for that? So,
yeah. In the chat, by the way, Listeners says, I thought Jesse picked Earth 3 at random. It was actually, there actually is a line about saying, because Jay's from Earth 3 and he's not there anymore because he's in the Speed Force, so they don't have their Flash. Carrie Johnson says, do these other Earths have Bats, Supes, and Diana, so meaning Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman? If so, they could do without a speedster for a bit, Jesse. I guess we just don't know, right? We don't know, obviously, what heroes really exist on these other worlds.
Yeah, but, Barry's Earth, is it meant to be Earth 1 that Barry's on?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, his Earth doesn't have a Supergirl.
Right, that's true.
So
or Superman, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Right, or Batman, or anybody. Yeah. I mean, maybe there's a Batman. We don't know actually yet.
I am a little fuzzy because remember Zoom took over the whole city, so there can't be a whole lot of superheroes in Earth 3.
Oh wait, was Zoom? No wait. Oh, Zoom in Earth 3 he took over.
Was it, or was it? Oh, it was Earth 2. Never mind.
Yeah, it was Earth 2, right?
Yeah, he just grabbed him from Earth 3.
He took Jay from Earth 3.
Yeah,
that's right.
Not confusing at all.
Hey man, it's 50. It's all it's confusing.
So I don't know who's on Earth 3, except I guess they're a little more retro in Earth 3.
Right.
Right.
They're futuristic in Earth 2 and retro in Earth 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a
like
JSA.
watching-
I wanna see them work.
JSA should be in Earth 3, right?
Yeah. I think that'd be cool.
Because wasn't Jay Garrick part of the JSA at one point?
In the
I
comic
think
books,
he
yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's the Golden Age Flash, right?
Yep.
Mhm. That's a TV show I'd love to see. JSA.
It'd be good.
JSA?
Yeah, I'd
Actually,
love
well,
to see it.
I thought they did, particularly when they did the JSA in the first 2 episodes of Legends, they did them really well, actually. Like, if it was like that, yeah, man, I'd watch it.
I mean, I thought they did a pretty respectable job in Smallville as well when they had the JSA characters.
I love Smallville, but I actually did not like the JSA at all in Smallville. I thought they like.
I was kind of
crap.
lukewarm on Smallville. As a,
Smallville's one of my favorite
I liked
shows.
it some weeks, hated it the other weeks. You know, it was sort of like it was a love-hate thing going on there. Probably a
Well,
bit
that's
like
because
you and
he was acting too heroic. He wasn't legendary enough for you.
No, it's just sort of like that whole ridiculous the red blue blur, you know.
Yeah, man. That's why I like the show. Because the whole show was about his journey. It wasn't about him being Superman. It was his journey to reach that point. You know,
I still would have liked to see one shot.
you did at the very finale.
Yeah,
it
but
was
it was
far
rubbish.
away. Oh no, it was crap. You're right.
It's real far away. Yeah, just
It was
one
terrible.
shot
The
in the
last
suit.
episode.
I mean, is that asking so much? I waited how many years for that?
Well, Tom Welling was really
like
waiting, man. He was waiting 10 years for that. Yeah.
Right? I think it hurt his feelings. That's why he's like, forget Supergirl. I'm not guest starring on that show.
Oh no, I'm sure he would if they asked him. I would love to see him do that.
Yeah, I don't think he acts too much more anymore.
I think
that's a
he's
shame, man.
producing now. I think isn't he producing now more than acting?
He's not doing a whole lot that I know of, but he's behind the camera more when he does stuff. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you guys. Do you guys have any theories on who Savitar is?
Yes.
Mark's always has theories.
I always have theories. I mean, one that would be really so most likely it's Barry himself.
I was thinking that myself.
Yeah, it would sync really well with everything we know and stuff. Another possibility is it could be Wally, maybe, because the trap worked for Wally. Maybe they're swapping versions of Wally. It's possible. Might be why he calls himself Wallace, because the only other person who calls himself Wallace is HR. So it's possibly HR.
Right. Somebody in the chat last week we had a lot of theories about who Savitar was as well on our show.
Yeah, I was
And
thinking HR.
Well, HR, he always has these moments where you see him manipulating people. Like he does it kind of funny and stuff, but you can tell he's actually pushing some buttons to get a reaction out of people. Like I think it seemed like he was doing what he could to make Jesse go hunt down Savitar in a way. Like he was trying to stop her, but he was like pushing a lot of right buttons. Like you're not the real Flash, and all that kind of stuff.
But one thing that kind of takes away from that being HR is it's actually HR that suggests that she try and finds a chink in the armor. And if the Savitar is HR, why would HR sabotage his advantage?
I thought of that, and the only excuse would be that he's not Savitar yet, so he doesn't know that he's plotting against himself.
Right.
But he knew it happened because he lived it. That's why when Savitar goes, I already knew you were going to come because I've lived all this before or something.
Yeah, you're starting to convince me it could be HR because somebody in the chat last week said about the Wallace thing, which was a great point, that he calls him that. Good. But also, so Savitar manipulated Wally the previous week into opening the Speed Force and letting him out by basically kind of telling him more or less, like, you're not good enough, you're not fast enough. And you are kind of right. In this week, he kind of said that to Jesse more or less, like, you're not the real Flash, which he played it off as him being like, oh, shit, I stuck my foot in my mouth. I was an idiot. But I guess you're right. Maybe it could be like it was very much designed.
Yeah, I think he did it on purpose. You see that every once in a while with him. He is a manipulator, right? Even when his gift of helping people find links to technology is still a manipulation in a way. And you can see that occasionally. He he plays his golly gee role a lot, but he's also pushing buttons and manipulating things a little bit here and there. And he's got an ego. I mean, I think if he got powers, he'd be all like, "Worship me." I could see him doing that.
Yeah, but there's also the thing that in season 1, Eobard Thawne kind of became Harrison Wells. So would they really be able to get away with that trick twice? Having the same actor turn out to be sort of like the villain.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point.
Well, they can never do that again because it's getting old. But I don't know.
What if it's Jay Garrett pissed off that he's been left in the Speed Force?
We never know, but I think HR and then Flash himself and even Wally potentially all are possible. I could buy them. I could even buy Eddie because the changes of Flashpoint and stuff have saved Reverse Flash. Maybe they also saved Eddie in some weird, bizarre way. Mm-hmm. And he took a bad turn with the Speed Force, did something to him.
I mean, I think it's actually pretty cool. I think it's a cool theory that it'd be the Flash himself because, it's this last episode was all about Barry taking responsibility. It's his job to save Iris. He doesn't think he's good enough, so therefore he doesn't think he's good enough. And apparently he is good enough, but you got this sort of like this villain, kind of like a mirror of Barry Allen, but it's all his negative traits.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a version of Barry where he wasn't good enough and someone died close to him, and so he became obsessed with getting good enough to get the speed and to get the armor and all that stuff, and he warped him over time, and he just turned into his villain.
Or it could be the Speed Force just messing with him.
Could be.
Because there's something unresolved from season 1, from season 2. Because when was it Reverse Flash changed time and stuff like that, he had that sort of like Phantom going after him, that Black Flash thing going after him. Barry changed time with Flashpoint, and we didn't see any of these Black Flash things going after him until last episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think Savitar's Patty Spivot, who's just pissed off that Barry didn't. Just kidding. I hope it's not her because I like her a lot.
Well, we learned
Cassandra Ebner.
Huh? Oh,
it's Cassandra Ebner, isn't it?
Cassandra, obviously.
Right. We actually, that's right. We determined that earlier, but it was Cassandra. All right. So, what are ratings for Flash?
Ian,
we do lightning bolts. How many lightning bolts out of 5?
Oh, I'll give it 4.5.
4.5. All right, Marks.
Yep, I think 4.5 is good.
I'm tempted to give it that. Oh, many. I think I'm going to go 4 though. And it was a very good episode, but mainly just because the stuff with Jesse that didn't make sense, and also the stuff with Barry and Iris at the end, which I agree, Marks, is just pretty terrible, and just I don't know what's happening there at all.
I blocked it out, or I would have given it 4 also.
All right, but anyway, overall, so it looks like once again this week the episodes we pretty much thought they were all quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, nice to see that. Carrie Johnson says Patty Spivak could be Savitar. That armor is space age cop armor. Oh, hey, there you go.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
We learned in the previous episode from the audience that she does get superpowers.
Yeah, Francis told us in the chat she becomes Hot Pursuit. She becomes a speedster. Yep, that is her name.
Yeah, that's interesting. And she wears high heels. No.
Oh wait, are you making that up or does she?
Yeah.
See, you don't know.
The speedster definitely should not be wearing high heels.
I just think it'd be really funny if Savitar was Roger Rabbit and stripped away the armor and he does his Roger Rabbit thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's mixy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Prank.
All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for us tonight. So next week, I'm trying to think if are all the shows new. I think I'm not sure about Legends, but everything else I think is definitely new next week. Arrow, Supergirl, and Flash.
Oh shit!
And of course, Flash is the big musical crossover with Supergirl. So next Sunday we'll be talking about that. I'm very excited.
Will they sing Gayo?
I swear to God, they better not fucking sing. No, I don't. Hopefully not. Before we get out of here, though, let's give some links. So first off, thank you to our guest, Cassandra Ebner. She gave her links out earlier, but she's Cassandra Ebner on Twitter, and we'll put her links in the description section that you can check out. And our special guest co-host, Ian, why don't you tell people where they can find your stuff?
Okay, well, you can find my website at scifipost.net. We also have the podcast. This will be on there this week at scifipostradio.com. And I'm on Twitter at scifiposts. And we have the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/scifiposts.
All right, awesome. Marks, what other links can people find you at?
You can find me at markspile.com to keep track of co-hosting the podcast GenreTainment and my book writing and whatever else I'm doing film-wise. And also you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Marks.
Awesome. And of course, folks, you can find us at supergeekedup.com. All the shows we do are up there. Our Super Geeked Up show, Super Knocked Up series, which you can catch on Amazon now. And of course, tomorrow we do our Dungeons and Dragons show. We alternate between that and a game called The Strange, but it's our tabletop gaming show we do every Monday night at 8 p.m. Marks is part of that. So you'll see me and him there tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. I hope you can join in and chat along with us. And next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, of course, we'll be back with DC Action Hour, talking all the latest episodes and all that good stuff. Please follow us on Twitter at SuperGeeked subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/SuperGeeked. We really appreciate it. And if you would like to really support us and help us keep doing what we're doing, we have a Patreon, which is a way you can make a monthly pledge of any amount you want, $1, a couple dollars, whatever you can do. That definitely helps us keep doing all these geeky shows. You can go to patreon.com/supergeekedup or just go to our the homepage of our website. There's a big link there as well. And there's a PayPal donation as well if you'd like to make a one-time donation. All right. Thank you very much for watching, folks. All right, so we're trying to come up with outros here. I think what we said last week, what Mark was something about, like, we'll see you same, what is it? Same something time channel? We're doing a Batman thing. What were we doing?
Same DC Action Day, same DC Action Hour.
Okay, sure.
Although we're never an hour. We're always over.
No, I know. I don't know. The show's a misnomer.
How about we'll see you through window?
All right. Well, bam, pow. We'll see you next week, folks. So thank you for watching.
Just Deo.
No.
See you the next day.
Oh boy, that's terrible. No, it's the next weeko, not day. All right, thank you for watching, folks. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.